the Birchwood, a festival of frolicking fun with Dr. Seuss. Just for those of you that didn't hear me, that's a festival of frolicking fun with Dr. Seuss. Ta-da! Wow!
To just boost them and encourage them, because she knows all the hard work that had been going on all week and all the practicing over and over. So she wrote down a Dr. Seuss style poem, and it was so encouraging. Mrs. Stavelak, as many of you know, is the type of person that holds people in her heart. And I know that all week, all last week, she's probably been holding the staff and the students in her heart. And as a person who's always in poetry, she just overflowed with this poem. So we just decided we needed to share it with all of you. It's to the Birchwood students, and the cat in the hat comes back to Birchwood. The sassy cat then took his ham and left his frazzled friend named Sam. He gobbled up his gross green egg, and down Warren Road he took his leg, and sauntered into Birchwood School. He smiled and said, "Hey, this is cool. These kids look sharp, they speak in rhyme. I'll stay right here and have a good time. But wait," he said, and he looked around. "Where's Mrs. D? Has she left town?" But Mrs. D, from miles away, yelled back from California, "You silly old cat who wears a hat, calm down, be still. Don't act like that." The cat, not sure, called across the country. "But can these kids do poetry?" "Yes, dear cat, they can," said she. "They'll do it very well, you'll see." "But can they do it for a show? A lot of people come, you know. It's a lot of work to all get ready. Are you sure that they feel steady?" "Yes, they can do it for a show. They can do it 2 in a row. Then they'll do it for kids and grown-ups too. And if you sit still, they'll do it for you." "But can they do it crisp and clear? Will everyone be sure to hear? And can they do it in a line with those toes lined up and looking fine?" "Yes, cat, they can," yes, yelled Mrs. D. "These kids can work, don't you see? They can do it crisp and clear. Old and young folks all will hear. They can put their toes in a line. They're not like you, they don't whine. They do their homework day by day. It's work that does it, so they say. They're not like you, silly old cat, who only likes to sit and chat. When phrases must get learned, they do it, and over, these kids go through it. That's the way, dear cat with the stripes. So quit your groan and stop your gripes. I do not want to hear your pouting, and I do not want to keep on shouting." Can you imagine how that cat could have a question after that? Though quite convinced, that sassy one still thought he'd have a little fun. He doffed his hat and said, "If I could, I'd like to know, can they do it good?" "Oh, cat, poor cat, are you a kitten? Your question's wild, it's just ain't fit. Do it good? Why speak so small? These kids will do it best of all. Their words will sing like a fiddle. They've got help from Mrs. Little. Their words will dance, spin like a top, with inspiration from Mrs. Trot. Give up your kidding. There's no more use. They'll have a ball. It's Dr. Seuss. They can do it for a show. They can do it 2 in a row. They can speak so crisp and clear. They can tell so all will hear. They can put their toes in line. They can do it really fine. They can do the work, my dear. They can do it without fear. These kids they can make those lines to sing. These kids can do anything. So tip that hat all red and white to kids like these who get it right. I tell you, friend, what's really cool are boys and girls at Birchwood.
Evelyn could not successfully help us with is keeping high-spirited children quiet till we begin, so I'll be very brief. Welcome, parents, relatives, friends, alumni. We're glad you're here. We're glad you were willing to come out. We're very proud of your kids. We have a special show prepared for you. 2 very short notes. I just wanted to give a special thanks to Mrs. Stofan, who brought to our attention a tape, a wonderful video called In Search of Dr. Seuss that gave us the story behind the man. He had a creative voice, but underneath it all there was quite a message. So that enhanced the preparatory stages for Mrs. Trump and myself. And the other thing I'd just like to remind you of, we're all here hoping to really enjoy our little ones. So if there's babies or toddlers who can't quite make it through and need some attention or need to leave for a short while, please feel free, to attend to your children so the rest of us can enjoy the show. Okay, here we go.
Dr. Seuss wrote words with juice, and now those words are on the loose. So welcome, hear how Birchwood School can make those words sound really cool.
Dr. Seuss, it's very clear, voiced zany thoughts for you to hear. His words and sundry characters amuse us, whether his or hers.
For instance, that fellow Yertle, you'll learn was not a clever turtle. He thought that he should hire bee. When you learn what happens, you'll laugh with glee.
And then there is that Gail McBuzz, the saddest little bird that was. But when she learned her lesson true, she joined the ranks of a contented few.
The Cat and the Hat in books like that are fun to read and giggle at. And would you like green eggs and ham? He's a longtime favorite with Sam.
Seuss's school was quite a zoo, with Sneetches, Needs, and others too. We cannot tell his stories all, so read his books, they will enthrall.
There's one more thing about Dr. Seuss. Before that, the show bust loose. He was a man who fought injustice, even when life was tough.
So throughout the festive fun, listen hard, and before we're done, of many lessons tried and true, we'll do our best to give a clue.
Dr. Seuss was a master of rhythm and rhyme. We would now like to recite for you one of his favorite books amongst young children. It's called The Foot Book.
Left foot, right. Feet in the morning, feet at night. Left foot, left foot, right.
Wet foot, dry foot, high foot, low foot, front feet, back feet, red feet, black feet.
Left foot, right foot, feet, feet, feet. How many feet you mean?
Slow feet, quick feet, trick feet, sick feet,
Up feet.
Down feet. Here come clown feet, small feet, big feet.
Here come pig feet.
His feet.
Her feet,
Fuzzy fur feet. In the house and on the street.
how many feet you meet?
up in the air feet,
Over a chair feet.
more and more feet,
24 feet. Here come more and more feet.
Left foot, right foot, feet, feet, feet. Oh, how many feet you meet?
And now, without further ado, we will introduce to you the class of first and second grade to see the trouble that Black Cat made.
All that cold, cold, wet day, I sat there with Sally, we sat there, we two, and I said how I wish we had something to do, too wet to go out and too cold to play ball. So we sat in the house, we did nothing
And did you know when Yertle the turtle first came out, he was wearing a Hitler mustache and a Nazi uniform?
Today, he's just a funny Seuss character. But listen carefully to see what happens when Yertle is greedy for more and more power. The title of our story is Yertle the Turtle by Dr. Seuss. On the faraway island of Salamasan, Yertle the Turtle was king of the pond. A nice little pond, it was neat. The water was warm, there was plenty to eat. The turtles had everything turtles might need, and they were all happy, quite happy indeed. They were...
Until Yertle, the king of them all, decided the kingdom he ruled was too small.
I'm ruler, said Yertle, of all that I see, but I don't see enough. That's the trouble with me. When this stone falls falling, I look down on my pond, but I cannot look down on the places beyond. This stone that I sit on is too low down. It ought to be higher, he said with a frown. I could see how much greater I'd be. What a king I'd be, ruler of all I could see. So Yertle the Turtle King lifted his hand, and Yertle the Turtle King gave a command. He ordered 9 turtles to swim to a stone, and using these turtles, he built a new throne. He made each turtle stand on another one's back, and he piled them all up in a 9-turtle stack. And then Yertle climbed up. He sat down the hop. What a wonderful view! He could see most of a mile. Oh my! Yertle cried. Oh, the things I now rule! I'm king of a cow, and I'm king of you. I'm king of a house and what's more beyond that. I'm king of a blueberry bush and a cat. I'm yours and the turtle. Oh, marvelous me! For I am the ruler of all that I see. And all through that morning he sat there up high, saying over and over, a great king am I. Until long about noon, then he heard a faint sigh. What's that? Snapped the king, and he looked down the stack. And he saw at the bottom a turtle named Mac. The top of his throne, that plain little turtle looked up and he said, beg your pardon, King Yertle, I have pains in my back, and the shoulders and knees. How long must we stand here, your majesty, please? Silence! The king of the turtles barked back. I'm king and you're only a turtle named Mac. You stay in your place while I sit here at home. I'm king of cows. I'm king of a mule. I'm king of a house, and the bush, and the cat. But that's not. I'm better than that. My throne shall be higher than these. But while he was shouting, he saw with surprise that the moon of the evening was starting to rise up overhead in the darkening sky. What's that? Snorted Yertle. Say, what is that thing that dares to be higher than Yertle the king? I shall not allow it. I'll go higher still. I'll bring my phone higher. I can, and I will. I'll call some more turtles. I'll stack them to heaven. I need about 5,607. But as Yertle the Turtle King lifted his hand and started to order and give the command, that plain little turtle below in the stack, that plain little turtle whose name was just Mac, decided he'd taken enough, and he had. That plain little lad got a little bit mad. That plain little Mac did a plain little thing. He coughed. And his cough took the throne of the king. And Yertle the Turtle, the king of the tree, the king of the air and the birds and the bees, and the king of the house and the cow and the mule. Well, that was the end of the Turtle King's rule.
Poor Yertle, the king of all Salamasan, fell off his high throne and fell plump in the pond.
And today, that great Yertle, that marvelous he, is king of the mud. That is all he can see. And the turtles, of course, all the turtles are free, as turtles and maybe all creatures should be. She wasn't content with her appearance. She wanted to be prettier than Lolly Lou. She learns a valuable lesson by the end of the story. The title of our story is Gertrude McFudge by Dr. Seuss. There once was a Gerber named Gertrude McFudge Instead of one feather behind, she had two.
Poor Gertrude. Whenever she happened to spy this lovely blue flying by in the sky, she got very jealous.
She frowned and she pouted. Then one day she got awfully mad and she shouted, "This just isn't fair. I have one, she has two. I must have a tail just like Lala Lee Lou." So she flew to her uncle, a doctor named Dave, whose office was high in a tree by the lake. And she cried, "Uncle Doctor, oh please, do you know of some kind of a pill that will make my tail grow?" "Tut tut," said the doctor. "Let's talk. How absurd. Your tail is just like your kind of bird." Then Gertrude had tantrums. She made such a din that finally her uncle, the doctor, gave in. He told her just where she could find such a pill and a pillberry vine on the top of the hill. "Oh, thank you,"
Gertrude McFuzz, and she flew right straight to the hill where the pillberry grew.
Yes, there was the vine, and as soon as she saw it, she plucked up a berry. She started to nod. It tasted just awful. Almost made her sick, but she wanted the pill, so she saw and switched. Then she felt something happen. She felt a small twitch, as if she had been tapped down behind by a switch. Then Gertrude looked round. She cheered. It was true. Two feathers. Exactly like Lala Lee Lou. Then she got an idea. Now I know what I'll do. I'll grow a tail better than Lala Lee Lou. These pills that grow feathers are working just fine. She nibbled another one off of the vine. Then she felt a new twitch, and then Gertrude yelled, "Whee! Miss Lala is only just two. I have three." When Lala Lee Lou sees this beautiful stuff, she'll fall right down flat on her face, sure enough. "I'll show her who's pretty. I certainly would. Why, I'll make my tail even prettier still." She snatched at those berries that grew on the vine. She gobbled down 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And she didn't stop eating, and Gertrude McFuzz, till she eaten 3 dozen.
That's all that there was.
Then the feathers popped out. What was that? It was in. They blossomed like flowers that bloom in the spring. All fit for a queen. What a sight to behold. They sparkled like diamonds and gumdrops of gold. Like silk. Like spaghetti. Like satin. Like lace. They burst out like red all over the place. They waved in the air and they swooshed in the breeze. They went as long as the branches of trees. And still they kept going. They popped and they popped. Until long about sundown when finally they stopped. And now, giggled Gertrude, the next thing to do is to fly right straight home and show Lala Lee Lou. And when Lala sees these, why her face will get red, she'll let her scream and fall right down dead. She'll let out her wings and take off on the ground. With all those feathers, she weighed 90 pounds. She yanked and she pulled and she let a squawk. But that bird couldn't fly, couldn't run, couldn't walk. And all through that night she was stuck on that hill. And Gertrude McFuzz might be stuck up there still if her good Uncle Dick hadn't heard the girl yell.
He rushed to her rescue and brought hope. To lift Gertrude up almost broke all their beaks, and to fly her back home almost took 2 weeks.
And then it took almost another week more to pull out those feathers. My Gertrude was sore. And finally, when all of the pulling was done, Gertrude behind her again had just one. That one little feather she had as a starter, but now that's enough, because now she is smarter.
We would like to recite for you one of our favorites from Dr. Seuss. It's called Green Eggs and Ham.
I am Sam.
I am Sam.
Sam, I am.
That's Sam I am. That's Sam I am. I do not like that Sam I am.
Do you like green eggs and ham?
I do not like them, Sam I am. I do not like green eggs and ham.
Would you like them here or there? I would not like them here or there. I would not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. Would you like them in a house? Would you like them with a mouse? I do not like them in a house. I do not like them with a mouse. I do not like them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam, I am.
Would you like them in a box? Would you like them with a fox?
Not in a box, not with a fox. Not in a house, not with a mouse. I would not like them here or there. I would not like them anywhere. I would not eat green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam, I am.
Would you, could you, in a car? Eat them, here they are.
I would not, could not in a car.
You may like them, you will see. You may like them in a tree.
I would not, could not in a tree, not in a car. You let me be. I do not like them in a box. I do not like them with a fox.
I do not like them in a house. I do not like them with a mouse. I do not like them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam, I am.
A train!
A train!
A train!
A train!
Could you, would you, on a train?
Not on a train.
Not in a tree.
Not in a car, Sam. Let me be.
I would not, could not in a box.
I could not, would not with a fox.
I will not eat them in a house.
I will not eat them with a mouse.
I will not eat them here or there.
I will not eat them anywhere. I do not eat green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam, I am.
Say, in the dark, here in the dark. Would you, could you, in the dark?
I would not, could not in the dark.
Would you, could you, in the rain?
I would not, could not in the rain.
Not in the dark.
Not on a train.
Not in a car. Not in a tree.
I do not like them, Sam, you see.
Not in a house.
Not in a box.
Not with a mouse.
Not with a fox.
I would not eat them.
Here or there. I do not like them anywhere.
You do not like
green eggs and ham?
I do not like them, Sam, I am.
Could you, would you, with a go?
I would not, could not with a goat.
Would you, could you, on a boat?
I could not, would not on a boat. I will not with a goat. I will not eat them in the rain. I will not eat them on a train. Not in the dark. Not in a tree. Not in a car. You let me be. I do not like them in a box. I do not like them with a fox. I will not eat them in a house. I do not like them with a mouse. I do not like them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam, I am.
You do not like them, so you say. Try them, and you may.
Try them and you may, I say.
Sam, if you will let me be, I will try them. You will see.
Say, I like green eggs and ham. I do. I like them, Sam, I am.
And I would eat them in a boat, and I would eat them with a goat.
And I would eat them in the rain and in the dark and on a train.
And in a car and in a tree. They are so good, you see.
So I will eat them in a box, and I will eat them with a fox.
And I will eat them in a house, and I will eat them with a mouse.
And I will eat them here and there.
Say, I will eat them anywhere.
I do so like green eggs and ham. Thank you, Sam, I am.
The title of our last story is Horton Hears a Who
By Dr. Seuss. On the 15th of May, in the jungle of Moon, in the heat of the day, in the cool of the pools, he was splashing.
enjoying the jungle's great joy, when Horton the elephant heard a small noise.
So Horton stopped splashing. He looked toward the sound.
That's funny,
Thought Horton.
there's no one around.
Then he heard it again, just a very faint yell, as if some tiny person were calling for help.
I'll help you.
Said Horton.
But who are you? Where?
He looked and he looked. He could see nothing there but a small speck of dust blowing past through the air.
I say,
Murmured Horton.
I never heard tell of a small speck of dust that is able to yawn. So you know what I think?
Why, I think that there must be someone on top of that small speck of dust.
Some sort of a creature of very small size, too small to be seen by an elephant's eyes.
Some poor little person who's shaking with fear that he'll blow in the pool. He has no way to steer.
I'll just have to
the voice. 'Twas a sour kangaroo, and the young kangaroo in her pouch said, too.
Boy, that speck is as small as the head of a pin.
A person on that.
Boy, there never has been.
Believe me,
Said Horton.
I tell you sincerely, my ears are quite keen, and I heard him quite clearly. I know there's a person down there, and what's more, quite likely there's two, even three, even four.
Quite likely a family for all that we know. A family with children just starting to grow.
So please,
Horton said,
as a favor to me, try not to disturb them, just please let them be. I think you're a fool.
laughed the sour kangaroo. And the young kangaroo in her pouch said, me too.
You're the biggest blame fool in the jungle of Newell.
And the kangaroo plunged in the pool of water.
What terrible splashing!
Down,
I
round.
can't let my very small persons get drowned. I've got to protect them up bigger than they.
So he plucked up the clover and hustled away. Through the high jungle treetops the news quickly spread.
He tossed to a dust bag.
He's out of his head!
Just look at him walk with that speck on that flower.
And Horton walked worrying almost an hour.
Should I put this speck down?
Horton thought with alarm.
If I do, these small persons may come to great harm.
I can't put it down, and I won't. After all, a person's a person, no matter how small.
Then Horton stopped walking. The speck voice was talking. The voice was so faint he could just barely hear.
Speak up, please.
Said Horton. He put his ear near.
My friend,
Came the voice.
you're a very fine friend. You've helped all us folks on this dust speck to win. You've saved all our houses, our ceilings and floors. You've saved all our churches and grocery stores.
You mean?
Horton gasped.
You have buildings there too?
Oh, yes.
Piped the voice.
We most certainly do. I know.
Called the voice.
We are too small to be seen, but I'm mayor of a town that is friendly and clean. Our buildings to you would seem terribly small, but to us who are big, they are wonderfully tall. My town is called Whoville, for I am a Who, and we Whos are all thankful and grateful to you.
And Horton called back to the mayor of the town.
You're safe now.
Don't worry.
I won't let you down.
But just as he spoke to the mayor of the speck, 3 big jungle monkeys climbed up Horton's neck. The Wickersham brothers came shouting, "What rot! This elephant's talking to who's who are not. There aren't any who's, and they don't have a mayor, and we're going to stop all this nonsense. So there!"
They snatched Horton's clover and they carried it up to the left on an eagle named Flat-Flat-Atop.
A mighty strong eagle, a very swift wing, and they said,
You kindly get rid of this thing.
And before the poor elephant even could speak, that eagle flew off with the flower in his beak. On that late afternoon and far into the night, that black-bottomed bird flapped his wings in fast flight. While Horton chased after with groans over stones that tattered his toenails and battered his bones, and begged, please don't harm all my little folks who have as much right to live as us bigger folks do.
but far, far beyond him that eagle kept flapping, and over his shoulders called back,
Quit your yapping. I'll fly the night through. I'm a bird. I don't mind it. And I'll hide this tomorrow where you'll never find it. And at 6:56 next morning, he did it. It sure was a terrible place that he hid it.
he let that small clover drop somewhere inside.
Of a great patch of clovers 100 miles wide. Find that, sneered the bird, but I think you will fail. And he left with a flip of his flat-bottomed tail.
I'll find it.
Cried Horton.
I'll find it or bust. I shall find my friends on my small speck of dust.
And clover by clover
By clover with care,
he picked up and searched them and called.
are you there?
But clover by clover
By clover he found that the one that he sought for was just not around. And by noon, poor old Horton, more dead than alive, had picked, searched, and piled up 9,005. Then on through the afternoon, hour after hour, till he found them at last on the 3 million flower. My friends, cried the elephant, tell me, do tell.
Are you safe?
Are you sound?
Are you whole?
Are you well?
From down on the speck came the voice of the mayor.
We've really had trouble, much more than our share, when that black-bottomed birdie let go and dropped. We landed so hard that our clocks have all stopped.
Our teapots are broken, our rocking chairs smashed, and our bicycle tires all blew out when we crashed.
So, Horton, please,
Pleaded the voice of the mayor.
will you stick by Seuss while we're making repairs?
Of course.
Horton answered.
Of course I will stick. I'll stick by you small folks through thin and through thick.
Hugged the voice.
For almost 2 days, you were wild and insisted on chatting with persons who've never existed.
Such carryings on in our peaceable jungle. We've had quite enough of your bellowing bungle. And I'm here to state
That's the big kangaroo.
that your silly, nonsensical game is all through.
And the young kangaroo in her pup said, Me too!
The Wickersham brothers and dozens.
A Wickersham uncles,
Wickersham cousins, a Wickersham in-laws.
whose help I've engaged. You're going to be roped, and you're going to be caged.
And as for your dust bank,
Ha! That we shall boil in a hot steamy kettle of diesel nut oil.
Boil it?
Yes, Horton.
Oh, that you can't do. It's all full of persons. They'll prove it to you. Mr. Mayor!
Mr. Mayor,
Horton called.
Mr. Mayor!
you've got to prove now that you really are there. So call a big meeting, get everyone out. Make every who holler, make every who shout, make every who scream. If you don't, every who is going to end up in a diesel nut stew.
And down on the dustbin, the scared little mayor quick called a big meeting in Birchwood Town Square. And his people cried loudly. They cried out in fear.
We are here! We are here!
We are here!
We are here!
The elephant smiled. That was clear as a bell. Buchanan surely heard that very well.
All I heard
Snapped the big kangaroo.
was the breeze and the big son of wind through the partisan trees. I heard no. And you didn't either.
The couch said, Me neither!
Grab him
They shouted.
and cage the big goat.
Rascals, some of the time off the rope.
Tie the nuts tight so he'll never shake loose.
and then dunk that dumb speck in the hazelnut juice.
Horton fought back with great vigor and vim, but the Wickersham gang was too many for him. They beat him. They mauled him. They started to haul him into his cage. But he managed to call to the mayor,
Don't give up. I believe in you all. A person's a person, no matter how small.
and you very small persons will not have to die.
If you make yourself heard, so come on now and try.
The mayor grabbed the tom-tom. He started to smack it, and all over Whoville they hooped up a racket. They rattled tin kettles, they beat on brass cans, all garbage fell tops, and old cranberry cans. They blew on businesses, they blasted grapes too.
On clarinets, boom buzzing, flutes.
They gusted a loud racket and high through the air. They rattled and shook the whole sky. And the mayor called up through the howling bad hullabaloo.
Hey, Horton, how's this? Is our sound coming through?
And Horton called that.
I can hear you just fine, but the kangaroo's ears aren't as strong quite as mine. They don't hear a thing.
Are you sure all your boys are doing the best? Are they all making noise?
Are you sure every who down in Whoville is working?
Quick, look through your town. Is there anyone shirking?
The town rushed the mayor from the east to the west. But everyone seemed to be doing his best. Everyone seemed to be yapping or yipping. Everyone seemed to be beeping or bipping. But it wasn't enough. All this ruckus and war. He had to find someone to help to make more. He raced through each building. He searched floor to floor.
And just as he felt he was getting nowhere and almost about to give up in despair,
He suddenly burst through a door, and that mayor discovered where Shirker lay hidden away in Fairfax Apartments, apartment 12J. A very small Shirker named Jojo was just standing and bouncing a yo-yo. Not making a sound,
not a yip, not a chirp. And the mayor rushed inside and he grabbed the young twerp
and climbed with the ladder up the Eiffelberg Tower.
This
Cried the mayor.
is your town's darkest hour.
The time for all who sweat blood that is red to come to the aid of their country. He said,
We've got to make noises in greater amounts.
So open your mouth, lad,
For every voice counts.
As he spoke as he climbed, when they got to the top, the lad cleared his throat and he shouted out,
And then that one small extra dot put it over. Finally, at last, in that speck on that clover,
their voices were heard.
they rang out clear and clean. And the elephant smiled.
Do you see what I mean? They prove they are persons no matter
ladder all small, and their whole world was saved by the smallest of all.
How true, yes, how true,
Said the big kangaroo.
and from now on, you know what I'm planning to do?
From now on, I'm going to protect them with you.
And the young kangaroo in her pouch said, Me too! From sun in the summer, rain when it's falling, I'm going to protect them, no matter how smallish.
Wait! We think our hardworking teachers well deserve these sweatshirts.
Thank you for coming. Tonight for our show. Well, look at the time. It is time to go. To read all the stories of Dr. Seuss, just go to the library, you silly goose. And now that is all I have to say. So come back next time when we play. Good